computer. So, good evening, Gail, and let me just get rid of that glare here. And this is January the 3rd, 2018, the first Zoom call that we're doing. And our featured guest tonight is going to be Dr. Rajen, our CEO. But before he comes on, I want to introduce you to my two new co-hosts that will be sharing the duties of these calls with me going forward through the year or however long they last. And so if you, Dr. Ken, and you, Dr. Ron, can unmute yourself as we've discussed before, and let's have you come out. So let me introduce Dr. Ken Pepperdine first. So Dr. Ken is a practicing chiropractor for over 40 years, currently practicing in the beautiful city of Nanaimo on Vancouver Island. He and his wife live on a tiny little island off the coast of Vancouver Island, and they commute to work with two separate motorboats every morning, weather permitting. Dr. Ken got his education at Western States Chiropractic, graduated in '77, and then he spent well over 1,000 hours at the Applied Nutrition Education program. He's used many modalities, many nutrition interventions over the years. He's an avid sailor and a speed kayaker. Ken and his wife, Wendy, I've met them. They were at convention, of course. They don't have any children, so they have a lot of time for one another, which is a wonderful, and they've had a wonderful marriage so far.
Mixed blessing, John.
So say a few words, then we'll introduce Dr. Ron.
Well, it's nice to meet everybody. I know you all from, well, I feel like I know you all from having watched podcasts and some of these. You'll forgive me, I was saying to these guys earlier that after this amount of time, my filter's worn out, so I tend to say things that I should filter sometimes. And it's a learning curve for me. John had to put up with me for about 2 years to figure out how to work a webcam. So technologically, in that sense, I'm low on the learning curve.
I think we'll have a terrific time with you because you have a terrific sense of humor, unlike me, which I tend to be pretty serious, as most people will attest to. So Dr. Ron Borzema Sr., I didn't realize that I was meant to call you a doctor until just tonight when I found out that in your early years out of university, you were a proficient and prolific architect, and you were doing all kinds of churches, schools, commercial buildings, and then very late, beyond midlife almost, at the age of 48 years, you found your passion in healing, and you work with Dr. Robert Preston, who was a naturopath and chiropractor, who trained thousands of people in a technology called healthiatry. So you're technically a doctor or a healthiatrist and also a naturopractic doctor. So naturopathic is one thing, chiropractic is another. You combine the two of them and you have naturopractic. So you've been doing that for over 25 years in a beautiful location on Lake Michigan called Holland, Michigan. Again, we've met your wife several times on many of these calls, and I'm sure you have a huge family from what I've heard, and those are the blessings that you bring to the table. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, and one additional thing too to what I do in my practice is it's called myomanipulation, okay, which is deep tissue massage work. So we're about balancing out the muscles. So that's another little protocol that I do as well. But yeah, I've been blessed with 3 children, 8 grandchildren, and number 6 great-grandchild coming in April. Wow. 4 boys and 2 girls. So really been blessed, and they all live real close by. So I get to play kissy face with them and have fun. It's a lot of fun.
Wonderful. Good.
Well, I'm not shoveling snow.
That's right. Good stuff. Whenever somebody sees Dr. Rajen on any of the screens, please alert us so we can include him in our conversation. Obviously, when we look back to 11 months ago on January 30th, when the first Igalen product landed in North America and was first distributed, very few of us knew what a story this would be. Some of us.
Excuse me, John.
Yeah.
Dr. Rajen is on.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's find Dr. Rajen. You know how to unmute yourself, do you? If you do, just do so.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Okay, good. Here you are. So meet Dr. Ken and, of course, Dr. Ron. And, of course, there's 60 people already. You're an important person. People want to hear you. So why don't you give us the New Year blessing and the New Year news and all the exciting things that we have to look forward to, and then we'll have a conversation with the four of us.
Okay. First of all, once again, I want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. I want this to be a great year for all of us. I want you guys to be the rainmaker for the golden shower of 2018. I want to thank, in particular, John Blackman, who's been really good in organizing these events, for much of last year, and has now strengthened the event by bringing in Dr. Ken Pepperdine and Ron Bosomo, right?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you very much. The first time I meet you, thank you for coming on the call, and thank you for being part of the team. For all of you on the call, I want to thank you for being part of the Galen family. And we had a dramatic year last year. That's putting it very lightly. We launched 2 products. We grew the company. We launched in 4 different countries. And we are lining up ourselves today to get bigger in all the countries we are in, and looking at the proper launch in Australia, possibly going into Hong Kong later this year. So there's so much planned for this year. And I, obviously didn't want to turn down the chance to be on this call when John called me, simply because I want to greet all of you and wish you all a very happy New Year. So from my end, I just want to say a couple of things about first Emulin E, right? So we've gone Emulin E since convention, and in Canada, by next week, we will go Emulin E. Okay, we've got some minimal stocks of C and M still in the warehouse, and when that's done, we go with Emulin E, right? Now, we spoke at the convention, but let me quickly summarize that. What Dr. Joe Aarons did was he took his best formula, which is Emulin C, the one that is most trialed, most tested over the last 12 years, and based on a clinical trial in Connecticut, enhanced it with gallic acid. Gallic acid has got very strong anti-inflammatory properties, and it's very close in structure to aspirin. So people will find the inflammation gets even better. But also, we have the same dose, because I think there's confusion about dose. People who took 3 capsules of Emulin C or M should take 2 capsules of Emulin E. Now, if you are taking more, and the people who have come back to me or Dr. Joe, and maybe to some of you and say it's not working for me, are people who are taking maybe 4 capsules of Emulin C or M, and they need to take more, right? So otherwise, we're getting very good responses. People say that they sleep better, they sleep deeper, more energy, more mental clarity. One thing you will see when you put gallic acid in the formula, less cravings, right? You will have less cravings.
We've just lost your screen. Let's see what happened here. Is that Joan? Who's that on the screen? Oh, here we are. Okay, good.
Yeah. So you will see that as we go forward, the combination of Emulin with gallic acid would be a better combination. Obviously, we've learned, so we also give you a plastic bottle with no box, which means that there's no breakage, it's lighter to ship, and the auto ship has come down from $9.90 to $5. So this is what we have done in the Emulin space. In the course of this year, Dr. Joe, I think, will be bringing on the bar, the Emulin bar, and the Emulin shake, protein shake, right? So that's a full range on Emulin. Now, and of course, the research continues. You will hear, I'm sure, about this study in Connecticut. When the results are ready, they're still working on the raw data, which I think arrived a month or so before Christmas. So we'll hear more information about this in the course of the coming year. Now, then of course we had at the convention, for those of you who were there, fortunate to be there, and those who were not there, heard it subsequently, we launched Klamax. Klamax is a stem cell releaser. It's coming out of this lake, Klamax Lake in Oregon. This lake was formed about 7,000 years ago in a volcanic eruption. So it's got a very rich lake base and a very shallow lake that will freeze out in winter. And that sources a very unique algae called Alphazimon flos aqua, AFA for short, which is a primordial food. It's one of those early foods on the planet. It's got no cells, so it digests very easily. And it's rich in certain ingredients or certain nutrients, but in particular, two molecules found in it seem to boost stem cells, one at the level of the brain and the other one at the level of the body, right? It's been sold in the United States in various forms and various formulations over the last 20 years. But it's always been sold as a capsule, because no company has been able to extract it as such without the algae taste and the algae flavor. And therefore, they pack it as a capsule. We are the first ones who bring it as a drink, very pleasant, sugar-free drink that needs to be taken once a day. That gives you the equivalent of 6 capsules in a sachet. Right now, because of the speed to market, we have it in a tub where you've got a scoop where you take between half to 1 scoop a day. That's between 2 and 4 grams a day. But when we do launch the sachets, which I expect in early February, then which means you take the equivalent of 6 capsules, which is what the dose that Dr. Stefano recommends. And I think, already I'm hearing from those at the convention who just got their stocks over Christmas, already I'm hearing some very positive feedback. And I think you will hear this more and more. There it is. And you will see that, there's 8 published studies on this product itself, or this range. These are all company studies published and journal-wide. As you know, in the convention, Dr. Stefano has also been nominated for the Nobel Prize for Medicine last year, right? He has got 2 patents, the 3rd patent he's got 5 patents, 3 already published, 2 more pending. We have access to all those patents, and we bring on the product that combines the best of 2 of his patents. So the product is called Clamine and Klamax and Alphamax, and we got a product called Klamax. Honestly, in all this excitement, I had a box which I took like 3 months ago, and I don't have stocks myself. So I'm getting it shipped out of the Philippines this week. And I'm looking forward to it, because I did feel a difference, and I'm sure all of you will feel a difference in some way or form. In fact, the sicker you are, the more you feel better. The older you are, the more you feel the regeneration and rejuvenation of Klamax. Yeah. So let me pass this call back to John and Ken and Ron.
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor, for that summary. So, Dr. Pepperdine, do you want to come out and just give us a little bit of a synopsis of your experience of the products in your
Oh,
busy practice?
sure. I haven't. I've got a lineup of patients waiting for it. I've got a few bottles. The orders should arrive any day now, and we'll put it out. One of the challenges that I have explaining it is that it does so much.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
I've, and to try to explain it to lay people, I've come down to saying it's the Swiss Army knife. It seems to, for neurological stuff, for neurological regeneration, for nerve injury, for connective tissue regeneration, and then of course the brain hormones. There's so many different things that it does,
Yeah.
and I'm actually sitting by all the notes I took in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
And I'm hoping I'm going to summarize them for myself and get myself a clear picture of all the things it does, where we can integrate it. I have a gentleman that is going to be starting it next week who has, and I cannot recall the name of the disease. It's a very rare disease where the front thigh muscles waste away. It's a little bit like ALS, but it's not ALS. And we're looking forward to trying that because it's a neurological degenerative disease. And he's very keen to try it.
Yeah. Now, I can say a couple of things right away with this product. I think I feel for Dr. Ken when he says, look, there's so much to talk about. And that's also the reason why, we've decided to hold off the transdermal. Because, when you have so many products and, let's accept there are a lot of healthcare professionals on this call, but the average eye Galen distributor is not a healthcare professional. And it's quite daunting, the information out there. So Dr. Stefan and I, over the Christmas break, have come up with the frequently asked questions, which will go on our website. I'm working today and tomorrow on a elevator pitch, right? To put the North American language in perspective, right? Something that you can tell people within a minute or so what the product is and is about, which is non-technical but exciting enough. So that will also be out on the website, hopefully Monday next week. And I have an email here from a chat request from Kathy Mason. Where are the published studies and when will we have a summary? The summary will also be available online, if not this weekend, early next week. Yeah, those are the studies that Dr. Ken has. What we have done, Dr. Ken, is we've also summarized it in a very simple format with key studies. So all these publications are on one page because what we're strong in is the science. Right? I know when people say I can release stem cells and you're going into mumbo jumbo land, right? And you're going into the realm of the snake oil salesman. So we don't want to go that route. We want to support you with enough science. But really, we think about it, we go back. Stem cells are what keeps us alive. When we are babies, when we are young, we've got a lot of it. As we age, we have less of it. And that's why we age, by the way. And now we've also known eating nutritious food and fasting have been able or will help stem cell release. We know this. This is established. So if today you went out there and had a steak, then or serving of liver, beef liver or something like that, I can rest assured within 2 to 4 hours there will be stem cells released in your body because of the nutrition impact of that food. In a similar way, if you went tonight and had a very deep sleep, like 6 to 8 hours of deep sleep, where maybe 2 hours are deep delta, in the morning you have stem cells released. That's why we wake up regenerated. So let us not think that this is something from outer space or climate or that only is found there. No. What it is a very powerful version of it, right? So you will feel that release and you will be able to sustain that release, right? And this is a primordial food, which means, it was there literally from the beginning of living time when organisms were. And so they're all single cell, They were all very easy to digest. And because of the very rich conditions in Lake Klamax, the nutrient levels are very high. Because of the thick volcanic ash, like 10 meters of volcanic ash below that lake, the amount of nutrients in the water are very high. And because of the purity of the environment up there at 7,000 feet or whatever, the air is very clean, a few thousand feet. And that's a part, there are only 7 places in North America where you can see the bald eagle, and this is one of the places. And the bald eagle, as I'm told, I'm not familiar with this, I'm told is very sensitive to pollutants. So it doesn't like polluted air. And then this lake uniquely freezes out all throughout winter. So those organisms that live in the lake must turn themselves, remain alive in a very harsh condition. So there's huge stress. And then they produce uniquely omega-3. So this is the only algae that we know that makes omega-3, right? So what you're taking is you're taking a very powerful food found in nature, and that triggers your own body to produce its stem cells. Now, stem cells is nothing. If you had tonight very deep sleep, tomorrow morning I can assure you have more stem cells. The reason why, if you are sick or whatever and you ask you to rest and you go and have a deep sleep and the next morning you feel better, is because we have released stem cells at the brain level, at the body level. Right? So this is not mumbo jumbo, I found this in outer space, or Lake Klamax is the only place on earth. No, it's not. But the environment and the conditions are so unique there that this food is very powerful, nutritious, and it produces specifically two nutrients, phycocyanin, which gives you that blue, the drink that Dr. Ken has, which is a blue drink. That's the color of phycocyanin. It's a blue pigment. And nature produces you see a lot of red pigments and yellow pigments, orange pigments and green pigments in nature, but seldom do you see blue pigments, right? But it's one important part of the color spectrum. And then there's phenylethylamine, which is called the molecule of joy, which is a molecule that your brain will produce by itself in the event of you being in love, being happy. It's called the molecule of joy. And small amounts of this are found in chocolate, which is why when we take cocoa, we feel good, right? But the amounts here are much higher. But also, the body tends to break down this phenylethylamine, so it won't enter the brain. There are things that come in this algae that prevent that. So you get this entering the brain, right? So in the course of this year, Dr. Stefano will come online. Like I said, he is if I use a better word, the god of this space. And he spent 24 years. By the way, he spent this discovery happened when he was in Canada doing his PhD. And he's got a Canadian wife, and he is in Canada very often. And he will be in Canada already in Vancouver on the 15th of February. And on the 17th, he'll be in Calgary. Right? So you will hear this now from Dory and Jana and all these things. And also we'll put out the actual announcements in the coming week. We're just getting all those logistics right. So, so you will learn. I mean, for me, over my 25 years in this space, I've looked at so many technologies, so many different products. And as a company, we will launch 1 to 2 products, new technologies every year. But this is really unique. You will see there is studies there of rats, where the brain is damaged and how this protects the damaged brain. And for me, there's a potential for stroke patients, for example. This also seems to produce something called EPO, erythropoietin, which we've known for 20 years, but nobody knows how to get it into the brain. And now we realize the brain makes it itself. right? So again, there's a published study on this. So, I think that it will even slow down mental aging, and the like. So it's as Dr. Ken rightly says, it's really a Swiss Army knife. And we all stand the risk of being labeled as snake oil distributors, because it's like this can, that can, this also can, and therefore we want to be very clear that we are science-based. Want to put all those studies out there, and we never want to make an emotional statement like, oh, this is good because it's been used for 20 years, or this is good because my grandmother said it, or because my upline said it, or because I need to meet my monthly quota. This product is good because it's a very powerful nutrition, and it works both at the level of the brain, which is very unique. Seldom things get past the human brain because of the blood-brain barrier, but also the level of the body, and the effects are discernible. Okay, I've spoken too much. Let me pass it back to John.
Dr. Rajen, thank you so much for being so willing to educate all of us. One little thing I will mention to you, you're coming awfully close to your camera, so we almost see you without a mouth. If you just back up just a couple of inches, it'll be a better picture. But let's have Dr. Ron share some of his insights and ask you some questions. Ron?
Yeah, thank you. That was a beautiful explanation, too, of what you just described, what we have with Klamax. In particular, I'm very, very excited to get it in my hands and start using it. One of the things that I've always talked about in my practice is I'm not about treating disease, but building health. And what it sounds like what we have with Klamax is the ability to really go in with a pure nutrient. And I'm wondering how much of that pure nutrient is allowing the body to detox, particularly in the brain area where we're dealing with a lot of neurological conditions, which may be, let's call it congestion in the body. So how much of the product is actually doing some detox?
Okay. That's a very good question, Dr. Rowan, and thank you for asking that. Now, the human body, right, this has nothing to do with you and I, it's the human body, and nature itself works on two principles. One is detoxification, and the other one is fortification, right? So you seldom can you fortify without detoxifying. It's an act of nature, right? And we're not just talking about detox of toxins. We're talking about detox of toxins we produce in our own body. Like we all produce urea, which must come out every day. It's a natural toxin produced by our metabolism, right? When we go to sleep at night, we're also detoxing our stresses, our anxieties, our negative thoughts. There's something that's happening, a defrag of the brain, so to speak, right? So you cannot survive without detox. It's impossible for us to live even a day if we don't detox at every level, at the organ level, at the cell level, right? If we do not detox, we cannot probably get past a day. That's why kidney patients need to go for dialysis every other day, whose kidneys have failed. So the moment you feed the body, the moment you fortify, the first natural act of the body is detoxification. It's the first natural act. And if you think about it, right, if you went to bed tonight, tired, with a headache, right, then in the morning, you're going to wake up refreshed with no headache. But you will notice that there is whitish stuff in your eyes. There is a whitish coat on your tongue. Your urine is more thicker, deeper in color, and more pungent, right? That's just 6 to 8 hours of rest and detoxification throughout the night. And the effect of that is you feel better, you feel refreshed, you feel regenerated, right? So the body, the moment you feed it, the first natural act is detoxification, okay? It needs nutrients to finance its detoxification, right? So the moment you give it food, the moment you give it rest, the moment you give it sleep, detoxification becomes a natural order. Now, sleep is the most potent detoxifier there is. And that's why none of us can go without sleep over a 24-hour period. We need that break, right? So I like your statement, Ron, about building health, right? Which is what we all need, really. You know, we are too much into curing sickness, right? It's a failed model worldwide. We know this. You know, my mother had a heart attack 7 months ago, and you know, in one night we're putting 2 stents into an 84-year-old lady and pumping up with 9 different drugs. Half the drugs were anti-inflammatory anyway, but the bill was shocking, right? So, and you know, it's a saying here that the last 2 years of your life will be a very expensive one, you know. So we got to build health. You know, we got to build health, and building health is nothing but right nutrition and proper rest, which leads to detoxification.
Excellent. I'm just looking at the chat, Doctor, and there's questions here. One was about if somebody's allergic to chocolate, will the phenylethylamine, the joy molecule that is in this, affect them in an adverse way?
I spoke to Dr. Stefano. He says the amounts in that are too small, right? But if you are allergic, then I suggest you start with, you know, not even half a scoop, a little amount, and see if there's a response, right? The amounts are too small and it's all purified, so there shouldn't be a problem. I should say that, you know, I like it because it's sugar-free, you know. So you can take it at any time of the day, at breakfast or at lunch or dinner. It's best you take it on an empty stomach because you don't want this to compete with other foods while it's being absorbed, right? So either it be done first thing in the morning or last thing at night after at least 1 hour after your last meal.
Interesting. Very good. And then we have James talks about a thyroid that was killed because having RAI treatment. Is it?
Radiation, yeah.
Do you know what that is?
Radiation, yeah, radiation.
Is it possible for Klamax to be able to help rejuvenate the thyroid that is partially available or even completely dead?
Right. My answer here is it's worth a try. I don't want to be the snake oil salesman telling you it's going to work. Right. If there is some capacity of the thyroid, then feeding it with a very nutritious input of food might jerk it back to life, right? It's worth a try. And it's very inexpensive. It's got no side effects. Even if the thyroid doesn't get jerked back, you're going to feel better overall.
So then we have a continuation of a question here about, let's see. It's something more about chemotherapy and immune system. So Jeff is asking, just wondering if this will help support chemotherapy and boost the immune system whilst going through a treatment.
Absolutely, right? I mean, we know chemotherapy is tough on the body, right? Chemo is, the horror of cancer is things like chemo, particularly where, you know, you really whack the body very hard with drugs, and people don't like that. So while you're on chemo, you may want to talk to a doctor because, you know, when they're on chemo, they make protocols. But if you're just after chemo or going into chemo to boost yourself up, this is a great food. It's a great supplement to take.
Okay. And then last thing, we have Kendra who asks, so I probably shouldn't put Klamax in with a green smoothie.
I wouldn't do that. It's a pleasant drink. Yeah. I would take it first thing in the morning, you know, literally as you wake up, you know, you brush your teeth, take it, and then go do whatever you're going to do for about half an hour. Don't consume anything, and then go back to.
Okay, good. So, hey guys.
There was also, John, there was a question on should or can this be taken and combined with Emulin E, or should it be at a different time? Yeah. Like I said, I prefer you to take this on a completely empty stomach, but you have no difficulty in combining this with Emulin E or any other supplement or your existing drugs. It will help you either way.
Okay. So Ken or Ron, go ahead and let's have a conversation. Maybe I'll bring this to the gallery view so we can all see one another when we're talking back and forth. So let's kind of converse. Oh, where is that? Oh, here it is. So let's have a quick conversation about 2018 in terms of marketing, in terms of growth, in terms of events. Jana, Dory, you might want to contribute here as well, and you know how to unmute yourself. Who wants to pipe in here?
Well, I'll start off. Happy New Year to everyone. Welcome to Dr. Pepperdine and a longtime 20-year-plus friend, Ron Borsema, who is more than qualified to do this call, Dr. Ron Borsema, and of course, Dr. Rajen. And John, thank you. Hats off to you for being that leader that took us through 2017. And I will always be grateful for all of the knowledge that you shared. So that was wonderful. So yes, it's true. We have, through the miracle of Dr. Rajen and Costa Guerra, made the arrangement for Dr. Stefano Scoglio to come to Vancouver. So we've had our trustee, Angel Jody, working on venues, and we're very close to landing a venue. So tomorrow I'm going to go check them out and see which one. Chances are it will be in New Westminster. The other venues that were available were way off and way too expensive. It's remarkable how much they charge these days for a venue, upwards of $2,500. But we've managed to get a two spaces that are under $1,300 right now, and I'm just going to go and look at them. They look good online, but we'll have that word out no later than Friday, and then there'll be a corporate announcement. But it will be on the 15th, and so Jana and I are working on lining up that space, and who knows, we may be working out something where we do a regular meeting if the cost is viable, and we'll do one big meeting a month, regardless of whether we have a doctor or not. I'm sure that Ken or somebody else, Dr. Pepperdine, can come over, or we have lots of support in the local area. So that's kind of the update on that. And again, silver to gold. Oh my God, today we had so much activity on that and so much excitement. And for the balance of the week, I've been asked to do no less than 5 conference calls for individual groups that are within Jana's and my structure. And we're busy, busy, busy. So it's exciting to see everybody so enthusiastic about this new promotion. So I'll turn it back over to you guys.
Dore, I want to ask you something. Since Dr. Rajen, or since Dr. Arens and Dr. Scoglio will be together in Calgary, will they also be together in Vancouver? Are you going to be able to combine them in that trip within 2 days of one another?
I wasn't aware that Dr. Arens was going to be in Calgary.
Yeah.
I'm not too. I think he's going to do a Zoom or something like that. That's my understanding.
Going to, excuse me, this is Jana.
Go ahead.
Dr. Arens is going to live stream into Calgary.
Yeah, correct.
But I don't think I would ask him to do that in Vancouver, because it's going to be really late at night on the East Coast, and I don't like doing that.
Okay.
Right. Anyway, live streams, we can do it, in many different ways and forms down the line. He's in North America. While we're at that, let me just quickly remind everybody as well. On the 3rd of February, we're doing our grand launch in the Philippines. It's 1 year in the Philippines. We are at the Marriott, and there Dr. Arens is flying in for that. He'll be there in person, having sessions with the public, distributors, and with doctors. So that's 3rd of February. at the Marriott in Manila.
That sounds
That's
great.
very
I'll be
exciting.
there too. I'll be there too, as will Costa Gara.
Okay. So, Dr. Rajen, you've agreed to do another call tonight at
Right.
20 minutes
In 20 minutes, yeah.
for the corporate call. And so we're not going to keep you very much longer. Why don't we just open it up and see if anybody has a question for you directly. All you got to do is just go to the bottom left-hand corner and eliminate that little red cross through the mute, through the microphone, and then go ahead and ask the question.
John, it's Kathy Manson. It's not a question. I just want to thank Dr. Rajen because I can tell from some of the videos and that kind of thing that getting Klamax to us has been an absolute nightmare with customs and FDA and shipping and all of the challenges. And it is obvious that you have worked tirelessly on our behalf. And for that, we will always be grateful.
Thank you, Kathy. Really appreciate what you just said. Thank you so much. It's been a very difficult 8 to 10 weeks for me. And it's not completely done yet. Actually, I'm on the plane to Italy on Monday because I think we have a world-class scientist and world-class product, but not world-class logistics. So we need to fix that very quickly because there's already so much activity in the airfare space. And some of you are lining up some top people, and we don't want to let you down. Yeah, but thank you for the comment. I really appreciate it, Kathy.
Well, it's a pleasure working with you, truly.
There was an amazing document sent to me earlier tonight by our friend Fawn Christensen. It's probably too long for me to read to everybody on this call. Fawn, are you there? Can you unmute yourself and do your best to give us the essence of what you sent?
Yes, thank you, John. This morning in preparation
Let's
for
see your
our
video.
call. Oh, sorry. I was just taking in everything and okay, where am I? Sorry.
There's the camera at the bottom there. Oh, there you are.
Ah, there you are.
Oh, good.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. What happened for me this morning when preparing for this call tonight in my day schedule is this amazing gratitude for strengthening all of us as a united front, as the Galen family. And that really taking this story of what you have done, just what Kathy said, what you've been through for us, Dr. Rajen, in these last plus 2 months to get Klamax here is now what we get to decide to be totally in with bringing it forward in a way that there's a reason why there were so many obstacles because this is so big. It is so needed. And there's a lot of, well, I'm not going to go there about what was holding it back. What I wanted to make the point was because of your diligence, your heart, we are here with our integrity, our values as a united front to bring the population of this world into health and wealth and happiness. And it was out of gratitude and that choice that all of us here get to make it. And thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll send that document directly to you so you can keep it as a record of this amazing emotional response.
It was actually written better than it said.
I always believe it's better in person, so I got the message.
Yeah, no, wonderful message.
I wanted to express for all of our hearts, that yes, this is a business, yes, everything, but it's our hearts here that are in the right place. And how we're moving forward in a united front is fantastic. Thank you.
Galen is people helping people.
Yeah. So Fawn, you're getting lots of kudos from your colleagues who are saying that you've spoken for them very well, so that's very nice. There's a question here about onions. Now, does the Emulin E still have a source, a product that is sourced from onion skin or not?
It is onion, but you need to understand, we're not giving you the pure onion skin. We're giving you quercetin that's found in onions, but it's also found in green tea. It's also found in most fruits, right? We went to onion because onion skin has got no commercial value. Therefore, it's not an expensive feed material, right? And onion skins are largely thrown away, just like the grape skins in the wine industry, right? So even if you are allergic to onions, it should not be a problem,
okay,
right? But if you're very concerned, what I'll suggest you do is you open up one capsule, take a little bit of it, put it in your tongue, wait for a day, and if there's no reaction, then you know there's no issue. But if you won't get an onion piece in there. It's an extract found in onion, which can be found in green tea, coffee, most colorful fruits like berries and
I think Dr. Rajen, Dr. Arens, he's been asked this question many times with regard to many of the components of the product. And his answer is always, look, we're dealing at the chemical molecule level. So it really doesn't matter where it's sourced from. We've essentially isolated that small little molecule, and it could come from Timbuktu for that matter. It's that chemical that we're after in order so that it then joins with the various receptor sites in the body to do what it's intended to do. So it's not the actual source of the product that's the issue here. It's that, chemical formula and how it in 3D fits into the receptor sites that, it has to work with.
It's a bit like vitamin C is found in oranges. I take the vitamin C from orange and give it to you. You're allergic to orange. Can you take vitamin C? The answer is yes.
Okay. So Ken and Ron, we're about 2 minutes to go before we end the conversation. Why don't we think about, winding this up and telling folks what we might want to be doing in the next couple of weeks?
Well, for one, I'm going to be doing some studying to catch up with all this, and what Dr. Rajen had to say tonight. I wanted to talk about stress and cellular apoptosis, the damage it does and what happens in sleep, and the fact that Klamax reduces homocysteine levels in the brain.
Significantly.
Yeah, and so it plays a big role. But the more we can clean up the other aspects of our lives, the more we're helping it to
heal.
Yes. So on my little business card, I have "to health with you."
To health with you. I love it.
Me too.
That's funny. How about you, Ron?
Well, yeah, I think just getting to know people, teaching people is always a hard part. I think that's where anybody that's in the natural health field, getting them to understand that we're not talking about drugs. We're talking about medicine in the way that is intended to be, and that's from food. Because if we take food into our body, the body knows what to do with it. Medicines are a toxin. And I think we got to show it that way. If we teach it that way, I think we're going to have great success. And a lot of people will come on board.
Okay.
The most powerful drug is food.
Amen.
Well, Hippocrates said, let your medicine be your food and your food be your medicine over 2,500 years ago.
Correct.
I have a quick question for you, Dr. Rajen, though, on the alkalinity of Klamax.
Oh.
That's got to be quite alkaline, I would think, to help our bodies go from being very acidic to alkaline.
Yes, it is alkaline, and it should reduce acidity. But that's a very good question, Dr. Ron. I'll check with Dr. Stefano on that, and I'll come back by email.
That brought to mind another question that I had. If you happen to mix it up in water, how long can we keep it without losing bioavailability or losing the nutritional value in it?
let me take note. Yeah, I'll come back. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. So I wouldn't want somebody to mix it up and keep it in their fridge for a week and then.
Okay, folks.
Can I just say how awesome the color is? Because the color is just the best. The color, I mean, is so beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And it tastes so great. I mean, that's what it tastes great, but the color that is exquisite.
Yes, that is a bit of a celebration every morning.
Yes, yes.
And if you look at the rainbow, then blue and green are right in the middle of the rainbow, right? So it's giving you the full spectrum. And by the way, there is a bit of red, it's all there in the molecule, but of course the blue stands up. Blue skies and everything nice.
It's beautiful.
Thank you, Dr. Rajen. And hey, guys, I'm just going to put it on gallery so everybody could say their kudos to the new co-host and to Dr. Rajen. And then we're going to stop the recording. So go ahead and say what you want to say to these guys. And we'll see you next week, same time, same station. And then get on to the corporate call in 10 minutes. Okay?
Happy New Year. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Love it.
Bye now.
Bye.